You know, we all came to this event because we want something more out of life. And chances are that has something to do with freedom. I was on a hangout a few months ago with Mars, the CMO of Empower Network, and he said something about David Wood that I thought was fascinating, and I thought it was probably one of the things that makes David Wood as great as he is. One of the things Mars said about David Wood is he said, all he sees are possibilities. When he looks at people, when he looks at teams, when he looks at crowds, when he looks at the future, all he sees are possibilities. And sometimes we as people have a tendency to look at the outer shell of a person and we make a judgment. And that judgment is never accurate because we can never tell what's on the inside of a person. And this destiny tree, part of the meaning is to remind us of the possibilities and also to remind us that all we can see with our physical eyes is the seed, right? So when we look at our team members, I would hope that we remember that what we're looking at with our physical eyes is the seed, and that every single person has a tree inside of them that's coming out. So this destiny tree is a reminder to all of us that we all have a tree inside, every single one of us, and to remember the possibilities. I was thinking maybe a good tagline for our team, because we're still developing our team culture, right? This is all coming together. But I thought about, Pipeline Prosperity Alliance, all we see are possibilities, right? All we see are possibilities. Because anything is possible, right? When we believe and when we make the right choices, anything is possible. So it reminds the Bible of the sower. You guys know that story, the sower? He's got these seeds, right? And all of us are seeds. And the parable in the Bible says that the sower was casting these seeds on the ground. And some of them fell on rocky ground. Some of them fell by the wayside. Some of them fell on thorny ground, right? And all of those seeds that fell on those pieces of ground, they were choked, they didn't grow, they weren't able to grow into the tree that they were meant to grow into. Well, there were some seeds that fell into fertile soil. And what happened to those seeds? They were able to grow up and become what they were destined to be. Out for ourselves, if Empower Network is that fertile soil that's going to allow our seed to grow into the tree that it's meant to be. Because all of us leaders, we've fallen on rocky ground in the past, right? And that's one of the frustrating things sometimes about home business is you get in and you do your best and you go through the period of trial and you start to produce, and then sometimes people disappoint us, right? Leaders of companies, they shut stuff down, they change things up. And one of the big reasons that leaders are here at Empower Network and have been since the beginning and aren't going anywhere is because we fully believe that Empower Network is fertile soil. And that fertile soil can allow all of us to plant our seeds and grow into the destiny. What I encourage you to do is pay close attention to David Wood. Listen to how he speaks, and more importantly, feel his intention behind what he says. David Wood, I believe, has a heart for the people like no other. Not only is he incredibly talented and skilled and gifted and inspirational, and he's best salesman in the world, I think, so I love learning from him, but he also has a heart for the people. And you guys know how rare that is in the world, to have a leader that is that talented and gifted, that actually loves the people, that wants to represent this destiny tree, is it represents, right? It represents our team, the Pipeline Prosperity Alliance, and where we are meant to go in the world, the type of force that we're in, that we wanted to take our place in the world. We decided, we were at this last event, we were hearing David Wood talk about his vision. When David Wood speaks his vision of creating 100 millionaires a year, sometimes people say stuff and you wonder, is he serious? Is he just saying that because it sounds good? Is he just saying that so that people will follow him? I promise you, he is dead serious about his vision. And so Mike and I were sitting next to each other at the last event. We're like, wow, he's serious about this. He's not playing around. And we're like, how big of a role do we want to play in this vision of creating 100 millionaires a year? We said, we want to play a big role. So we decided that we want to eventually free 100 people a year. Because maybe not everyone should be millionaires, right? Andrew Carnegie said to Napoleon Hill, he said, becoming a millionaire might not be the right goal for everyone because for some people it would cost too much. You guys understand what that means? That's another difference with our team, is we believe that money's important, yes. We believe that freedom's important, yes. We also think that there are things that are not worth sacrificing, like our honesty, our integrity, our love for people, doing the right thing for people, and our families, right? And so becoming a millionaire may be right for you, may not. That's up for you to decide. But we believe that everyone should be free, right? Everyone should be free. And so that's our vision, is to get to a point where our team can be freeing 100 people a year, and it's already started. You guys heard the recognition, the commissions. You're free from your corporate job, right? It's already started. And is it possible? Is it possible to free 100 people a year? Is it possible? Yeah. Right? Two quick stories. You might hear this weekend. Dave Wood talks a lot about Bill Britt, who is a big leader in Amway. For 20 years, Bill Britt would talk about creating 100 diamonds a year, which would be the equivalent of freeing 100 people a year. Although I believe becoming a diamond is probably a lot harder, is it, Kevin, than freeing yourself in Empower Network, right?
Oh, yeah.
But he would talk about this, and talk about it, and talk about it, and talk about it. And some people doubted, some people scoffed, some people believed, and he just kept talking about it, and talking about it, and talking about it. And 20 years later, his organization spans the world, and it's creating 100 diamonds a year. So it's not something that we're like, can it be done? It's something that has been done, right? And how would you like to be a part of something like that? That brought freedom to 100 families a year, that took moms and dads and put them back in the home with their kids, that allowed people to do what they wanted to do in their lives. So that's our vision, and we're committed to it. And if it takes 20 years, fine. If it takes 30, fine. If it takes 40, 50. I think about my life, and I'm like, what would be a worthy life mission? When I get to the end of my days, when I look back over my life, what will have been a worthwhile investment? And for me, I don't know about you guys, but to look back over my life and say, you know what? I fought for freedom every day. I fought for people's freedom. I preached freedom. I talked about freedom. I taught people. I empowered people, and I let them know it could be possible. When I look back over my life, and like, man, if I did that, right? What a life, right? Would you guys be proud of a life that was lived in freedom, yourselves, and sharing it with other people? So that's what we're about, and I believe this is the start of something big. What is it? All we see is possibilities. Right? So that's the vision. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We're glad you're here. We know that the fact you're here means that you're unique, you're special, you're serious about your future, and we're serious about supporting you guys and achieving that which you want to achieve.